Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott, and this week I am participating in a game jam, the Click Your Jams 2022 game jam. And the goal of this game jam is to create an idle clicker game. And so in this video, I want to talk about the progress that I made in the at the end of my first day, as well as some of the gotchas that I ran into. So just as a reminder, my premise is you're a programmer and you're going to be clicking in the game to complete code, so that way you complete sprints, complete task, and that's kind of the premise. And your upgrades would be type 2 programming related things. So kind of what I went with is I decided to use Phaser 3 for my game engine. It's what I have my most experience with, so I figured I could prototype something fairly quickly. And also, in my previous game jam, so what I did is I created a game called Indivisible Slayer, and what I decided to do is use that as my base. It uses Phaser 3 and TypeScript, so I had a really good starting point because the template that I used here scaffold a lot of like the scene setup, the game configuration, allowing the game to resize automatically and things like that. So I decided to go ahead and use that and then strip out anything that was related to that game. And then that way it's really just the bare bones of a project. So that way I'm not spending a bunch of time setting up just the project itself. Once I did that, I went ahead and started development and tried to prototype as quickly as I could. I started running into a few things where I started spending too much time with the graphics and kind of how the game looked and trying to do adjustments and resizing. So I kind of had to course correct and really focus back in on, let's get the basics down for the game to make sure it's actually going to function and that the loop's actually fun. So I'm hoping I'll have more progress tomorrow. Now that I've kind of switched gears and reoriented myself to what I should be focusing on, so that way towards the end of the week, I can really fine tune and get the graphics and try to make the games look as best as I can. With that, I want to go ahead and share kind of some of the progress I made here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and restart the page. And so this is kind of going to be the game view here. This would be basically like the computer monitor, as I mentioned, and this is the main gameplay area. So the levels in this game would be like developer sprints, and so each sprint you want to complete a certain number of tasks, so that way you meet your sprint. And so just like as an example, for first sprint we have 10 tasks we need to complete before we can move to sprint 2. So similar in gameplay to Click Your Heroes, and so as the player clicks, they're going to start writing code, and so like their task is to add two numbers as an example. So they start writing their function, and when they complete the function, it disappears. We see we've completed a task and they've gained some experience. So the very base bones of a clicker game, we're now getting some type of currency that they'll be able to spend, and so they can repeatedly do this to start building up that currency and just increment their task here. And so what I want to focus on for tomorrow is start adding in some of the upgrades to enhance like the typing speed. I'm still working on the terminology, what I want to use here for the level, as well as transition to a next level, which would be a little more difficult. And then, of course, adding in the auto type clickers as well. So the idea here is the upgrades button would pop a menu, and then you could buy the upgrades. So as you can see here, I'm a little bit faster. Right now I have the upgrades just improving how much my type speed is. It goes by a lot faster. So if I buy a bunch of upgrades, you'll see now I'm really flying through the level. And so so this is the progress I have so far, and I'm hoping to get more done tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this content interesting and helpful. If you did enjoy the content, please give it a like, a subscribe, or leave a comment down below. If you have any questions or ideas for future content, please let me know, and I will talk to you all later.